Testing 1, 2. All right. Live number 2. So back one more time. This one is called Shifts in Momentum. So the background for this post here is to become conscious of the very thing that determines how your day is going to go or day is going to turn up. And it's something called momentum. Momentum can fluctuate in a day. It can go from high to low, it could go from low to high. But what I want you to realize out of this is that you are in control. So without further ado, let's start this podcast. Hi guys, my name is Donnie Rouse, and you're listening to the podcast, One Life. Shifts in momentum. Think of momentum as driving a car. When you are driving at 100 miles an hour, you are going very fast in a certain direction. But what happens when the light turns red and you have to stop? The momentum has stopped. Then now all of a sudden going in that same direction takes a little more effort, takes a little bit more energy. But from that stop, there's also another possibility, the possibility to go in reverse. When you're going reverse, that's when things start to not feel so good. The intention of this podcast here is to make you aware of the momentum in your day as well as in your life, because that's ultimately what it translates to. The momentum of your day makes up the momentum of your life. And it's something that goes unnoticed so often. If you'd only take the moment to check into yourself to see what is it that you're really feeling inside, then you could start to make shifts. Like, well, I'm feeling this way and I want to feel this way. What kind of shift do I have to make? So let's start to understand, well, what is the momentum we're in right now in this moment, right? Feel your energy. Like, what do you feel in your body? Do you feel like tense? Do you feel tenseness? Do you feel loose and playful? What do you feel? Because it's going to determine the outcome of your day. We're going to assume that you are in that very tense state. Next question. What is it that you're focusing? What is making you feel tense or uptight or stressed? What is it that you're focusing on? Where are you putting your interest? Next, what can you focus on that would change your momentum? And it can literally take a couple of minutes. It could be focusing on gratitude, focusing on something you're passionate about, focusing on someone's face that you love, focusing on a memory that you've had that brings joy to you, that makes you smile. And then lastly, just to continue this entire process throughout your day. So we'll review these questions as well as give you kind of a little strategy as to how to incorporate these in your day. Again, because the way your momentum in your day is going to determine how you feel at the end of your day, which ultimately determines how you feel about your life. I was at a football game this past weekend. And while at that football game, I'm not one for football, to be honest with you, but I did enjoy the time of the game. The game was between the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are at the top of the division. I don't know if they still are now. So they were favored to win. And the Jets, while they were doing good this year, I guess, from what I've been told, they were not expected to beat the Bills. So as the game started, the punter or kicker from the Jets kicks the ball off, but as he's going to do the kickoff, he slips and the ball just kind of fumbles. Bills recover it on the 50-yard, take the possession on the 50-yard line. And you can see there's this frazzleness. He's yelling some profane word, in punching the ground, like punching towards the ground, because it was a big flop. He slipped. It was raining. Bills start to drive. They do an awesome pass almost near the end zone, and then there's a turnover. And this was something that happened over the course of the game, where there was this constant changing of power, changing of momentum, where one team would start to do good, they would be driving, all of a sudden something would happen, and then they would all of a sudden lose momentum. And because of that play, the opposing team would start to drive and feel very powerful. Then, if something happened, they would start to lose momentum. It's so true of life, of every single day. If you are moving in a direction, if you don't take control of your focus, if you don't put things in perspective, you can be like those football teams where you literally keep going back and forth, back and forth. It's like taking one step forward, one step backward. You never really get anywhere. In the instance of this game, the Jets won and they upset the Buffalo Bills. So in order to control the momentum of your day, as well as to harvest that energy, this way you could put more of that life energy into the things that you love, you have to make sure that the momentum is going in the direction that you want to go. How do we do that? We're going to come up with a game plan in this podcast here, and I want to give you one more example of momentum, and it deals with this podcast. Right? So I do the podcast post most of the time. This is all like on a whim, in the sense that it's all in my mind. I'm not writing down. If you look at me, I'm looking right at the camera. I'm not looking at a note off to the left. Sometimes I'll reference a bullet point if I have something that I wrote down, but for the most part, it's me here live with you. When I am doing these, sometimes my state starts to wane because, like being turned on, being in the camera, it can get tiring, right? And especially if I'm trying to do maybe 3-4 episodes in a day, my eyes get tired. I'm looking at the screen. You can't see, but behind this camera, there, I have light coming in, so it kind of like gives my eyes a little bit fatigue. So if I'm not conscious of where my momentum is going, how like my energy is going, it could quickly detract from the impact that I'm trying to have with you right here, right now. And that's a very, very small example. I mean, there's other examples like, people who are vampires in energy. What I'm trying to say is pay attention to your energy, pay attention to your momentum, pay attention to the things that affect your momentum. As a result of that, I realized, I can't do podcasts at night. If you watched some of my live streams yesterday, I tried doing it at night, and I quickly remembered why I couldn't do, but I tried, and that's as a result, I'm doing some of those over right now because I have more of the focus, more of the energy. So let's come up with a strategy. Like, what can you do? Like, what is your power, your superhuman power to control your momentum? Right? Let's start with a few of the basic ones, right? Your physiology, how you move your body. Like, if you're watching this one here, just from the one I did earlier today, I did another live. This is the second recording. I'm a little bit more animated. It's also because I was playing Levels by Avicii. And I was like, I was just getting really, really into the music. And as a result, I'm bringing that energy to you on the camera. What else? Getting outside, changing your environment can change your momentum, right? Because all of a sudden now you start to focus on something different versus that little petty shit that you were worrying about before. Now you're looking at, the leaves blow, the grass, if it is green where you are, you start to focus on different things. And then those things that you were worrying about start to subside and you start to get present and be like, wow, I am really in my day. Nothing, the stuff I was sweating before is not a big deal. Third, coming up with a list of things, which is what we're going to do here today, is just a list of things that makes you feel good. Maybe walking is one of those things. Maybe going outside is one of those. But taking that list of maybe 3 to 5 items that take no more than a couple minutes to do that you can implement in your day with ease to change the direction of your day. This is what's going to have and make an impact. I was reading something online, and I'll likely end up putting this into a post. A lot of people, I am definitely guilty of it, I'll be honest with you. But, they put all this energy into these peak experiences. And they have these amazing experiences. But really, life is composed of the day to day, right? It's not these one peak events. Although when you plan these events, right, just having them on your calendar, there's a sense of anticipation, the sense of excitement that carries over into all your day. So I kind of disagree with this, but I know the point the author was trying to make. He was saying that, it's about feeling good on a daily basis. That supersedes these giant peaks in emotion that you get from maybe, the birth of a child or, an amazing trip you just went on. Like I said, it's not really, it's kind of a gray thing because I think when you have those things planned, the anticipation of it coming just puts you in a good state. So it's a transfer of energy. But let's focus on feeling good on a daily basis and being conscious of the momentum that we are in on a daily basis. So let's go back to those questions. What is your momentum right now? You might want to make a point to check in on a daily basis, maybe 3 times a day. Set the alarm on your phone. Like to say, all right, how am I feeling right now? By checking in, then you can say, I feel like a 6. Then you're like, all right, well, what would it take for me to feel like a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or go right to 10? Then you look at your list. Say, all right, well, what here can I focus on? Spend a couple of minutes focus on. Maybe it's just taking a couple of minutes just to breathe, right? Because that will change how you breathe. When you're tense, your breathing tends to be very shallow. And if you're not breathing very much, you tend to feel a little bit stressed. Maybe it's just a couple of minutes breathing, but take a look at that list that you created. You did create it, right? Take a look at that list and pick an item. Do it. And then say, how do I feel now? Gauge the difference, because when you see the difference that you were able to make in your feeling, in your momentum, as a result of just taking a couple minutes, you'll do it more often. And then lastly, continue the process. Continue with that momentum and just see at the end of your day, check in. See what were the things that were throwing your energy off? Like, where were you getting mixed up? Was it a coworker that comes in and just poo-poos all over your parade? What was it? So this way you could start to avoid those things, or if you can't avoid them, at least come up with a game plan. So this way they don't affect you. You kind of like put up this invisible force field that allows like the good stuff in, but keeps the crappy stuff out. So that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. It is extremely important, right? To always be conscious of your energy, always be conscious of the momentum, because again, your momentum creates your day and your days create your life. Hopefully you'll start to really put this in action. I'll give you one more. One of the things for me, if you are a one-lifer like me, you are likely to like travel. I look at travel videos. Travel videos put me in the state of wonder and exploration and awe and excitement. So I always look at that. It always changes my state. So just one more thing for you. But I hope you will take this exercise and really incorporate it in your day, because I promise you it makes a difference if you're willing to do it. You have to be, all change requires action as well as discipline. So do it, see the results. Hopefully I know you'll see the results if you do it, and then I know it'll transform your life. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you taking the time in here to better your life and to think about what exactly it means to live your life at its fullest, your one life. If you'd like to ask a question, comment, or subscribe, you can do so by visiting www.donnierouse.com. Again, www.donnierouse.com. In the coming month, in January, I'm going to be doing what I call dreamcasting, where we're going to plan these events and make it feel so real, so that there's no other option but for them to be fulfilled and come to fruition, for you to manifest the thing. And it's going to be an entire process, but that's going to happen in January. So if you go to the website, if you sign up for the mailing list, you will be notified when that workshop drops. Again, remember, guys, you only get one life, just one. Live it. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless, and I will see you again